When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one portion of the family of man to assume among the people of the earth
a position different from that which they have hitherto occupied, they should declare the causes that impel them to such a course. Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women
are created equal.
Look at me. Ain't I a woman?
Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of those who suffer from it
to refuse allegiance to it. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this here talking about?
Let facts be submitted to a candid world.
He has never permitted her to.
He has compelled her to.
He has.
He has made her, in the eye of the law, civilly dead.
What's all this here talking about?
He has never permitted her to exercise her inalienable right to the elective franchise.
I have plowed and planted, borne 13 children, borne the lash, cried out with my mother's grief. Ain't I a woman?
He has withheld from her rights which are given to the most
ignorant and degraded men.
He has compelled her to submit to laws in the formation of which
she had no voice. Ain't I a woman? Look at me. Ain't I a woman? Now, in view of this entire disenfranchisement of
one half the people of this country, because women do feel themselves aggrieved.
If my cup won't hold but a pint, and yours holds a quart, wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full?
Because women do feel themselves
oppressed.
What's all this here talking about?
And fraudulently deprived of their most sacred rights.
We insist that they have immediate admission to all the rights and privileges which belong to them as citizens of these United States.
In entering upon the great work before us, we anticipate no small amount of
misconception,
misrepresentation,
ridicule, but we shall effect our object.
If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down,
all alone,
all these women together ought to be able to get it right side up again.
And the men better let them.
The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
That's it?
That's the whole thing? That's all it says?
That's it. That was the 15th Amendment in all its glory.
Black people have the right to vote?
Black men have the right to vote.
Black men only?
Yes, only men can vote.
But it's so short. I don't know what I expected. I feel let down. All the years of fighting, debating, and working are summed up into just a sentence. For something so impactful, so monumental, so life-changing, so historical. I expected a full page, a paragraph at least. Not just one sentence. How the world can change with just one sentence.
Change. The world has changed, but change does not mean equal. My world feels the same. Women, where is our change? Black women, where are our amendments? All those big men in Congress, and they're voting and voting and voting for just one sentence to add to another man's equality. Who would know that justice comes in such small words?
Such small and few words.
That's that. We better go check those clothes on the line before we start supper. Mrs. Bergman is going to be home from her meeting and ready to sit down with the children promptly at 6. She says she has another meeting at 7.
She sure does stay busy.
Women are always busy.
Josephine Henry. Let us look for a moment at the real position of Kentucky women. We are one half the people. We are persons, native-born citizens, property holders, taxpayers, yet we are denied the right to the elective franchise in a commonwealth that proclaims a government of, by, and for the people, and proclaims equal rights to all, executive privileges to none. If women cannot be included in the word all, where can they find a refuge? If woman does not suffer from the absence of political power, it is the only instance in history where a class deprived of political rights have not been wronged because of political disability. The Kentucky Equal Rights Association asks members of the Constitutional Convention to reconcile the denial to Kentucky women of a voice in the laws that govern them and the taxation of Kentucky women without representation with the fundamental principles of our government. God is rising up great and grand men in Kentucky who are not afraid to battle for right and justice. The Kentucky Equal Rights Association asks for an open clause in the new Constitution so that when justice possesses the hearts of men, Kentucky women may come into possession of their birthright, which true democracy guarantees to all the people.
I call this meeting of the Louisville Equal Rights Association to order.
Mary Virginia, would you lead us in prayer?
Caroline Beach will open our meeting with a scripture reading.
Today's reading is from Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 25. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and laughs without fear of the future. Amen.
Mrs. Georgia Moore,
Mrs. Caroline Leach,
Mrs. Virginia Parrish,
Mrs. Alma Bergman,
Mrs. Mamie Stewart,
Mrs. Julia Ingram,
Dr. Julia Ingram,
and myself, Mrs. Susan Brooke Avery.
and I, myself, Miss Georgia Ann Nugent.
The secretary shall read the minutes. Motion to approve the minutes. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Treasurer's report.
I'm pleased to report a balance of $12.
I am pleased to report a balance of $2.10.
$4 of this is allocated for the printing and distribution of pamphlets on property rights for women.
$2 of which is allocated for the collection for needy women and children, to be delivered to the National Baptist Convention next week by Sister Mary Virginia and Sister Nandy Helen.
Let us commence our literature exercise with a reading of Mrs. Josephine Henry's Kentucky Women and the New Constitution.
And now, Georgia Moore will read from Mary Brenton's excellent speech. Women's Suffrage, a Potent Agency in Public Reform.
The atmosphere in which I live is not a healthy one for women's suffrage.
The justice of the cause we advocate nerves my heart with courage to perform this duty my co-workers have assigned to me as
I was talked of as a
strong-minded woman.
Not knowing the import, I argued against the term, saying I favored human rights, not women's rights.
The duty of appealing to the highest lawmaking body of the Commonwealth.
Women inherit all of the natural gifts that men do.
The fundamental principle of woman suffrage
is that of every human being has a right to mark out of his or her destiny, subject only to those restraints of society which are applied to all alike.
Old business.
A matter of new business. We have received word from our sisters in Lexington that their progress in gaining school suffrage has been revoked.
That opposes women's suffrage has been on the dangers of extending the vote to the uneducated masses.
Mrs. Leach, forgive me, but you sound as if you agree with that assessment.
Not at all, Mrs. Bergman. I am saying
We must keep our eye on the prize.
Diluting our power.
We can no longer place our focus on school suffrage.
Without full enfranchisement, we can effect no change in any arena.
We need to place our voices prominently before a larger audience.
resolved.
Meeting adjourned.
What did you think of the meeting?
Suffrage is all well and good, but I wish we could return to issues of substance, like seats for shop girls, health and hygiene.
We cannot keep spending our time convincing others to support causes on our behalf.
And gaining the vote will allow us to voice our concerns ourselves.
What did you think of the meeting?
Well, suffrage has my full support, but I want to focus on other pressing matters. The jail system. Lynching.
Gaining the vote would allow us to voice our concerns ourselves. Georgia, shall we walk home together? I have something I want to discuss with you.